What's up, y'all? I get asked a lot of times, like, what is hip hop? Just explain to me what is hip hop. Well, without making it too long, I'll try to explain to you very sensibly what hip hop really is. Hip hop is the expression of you. Being you to the fullest of your extent without being held to the structures of the world. Okay, you know how everything is a circle? It's being you and just expressing yourself. If you're a person that love to wear suits with no pants or turning your pants inside out, it's true expression of yourself. It doesn't mean that you have to sag your pants to be hip hop. Somebody might wear a complete suit and still be hip hop. It's just your essence. Now, people want to know the origins of how it started and all of these things. Hip hop started a very long time ago, before it was hip hop. And I mean, like, this goes way back, but I won't do that. Let's keep it in modern times. Okay, the word hip hop actually came in the during the 40s, when everybody was like hipsters, when everybody was into jazz music and all this musical play. So if you were in the bebop era, and it was the way they dressed and the style was hip. That's what they used to say. It's a slang term in Africa which says hip, but it's hip here. So anyway, you were hip. So people were like, oh, look at that hipster. So when you said somebody was hip, that's what, it came from. And when it came to the 70s and 60s and all of this stuff, and the 70s, the disco era came into effect. And you had these people wearing these different type of clothes, because after the hip, when they was hipsters, then they became hippies, with those who weren't a part of anything. They were just like, you're a hippie, they would just dress down or dress totally different from the structure of the world. And they had a certain act about life and culture and nature. They just considered you a hippie. Now, going into the 70s, you have the disco era. And this is where mainly the hip-hop music came from at the time. Like, they would use all the music that people would use from skate rinks, and they were normally fast-paced songs that they would call disco records. And starting off, most people would use disco music as their theme of rap when they start dancing or anything else back in the disco era and making songs. But people would make fun of the disco goers and call them, because they used to hop around and do all these high energy dances, they would call them hoppers. Like, oh, look at these hip hoppers, because of the way they dressed. They were dressing the hip style, the new fashion, which what we call swag today. It was a hip style, so they were hip hoppers. And as disco started to fade into rap music, all the old disco records was used, people would rap over the disco beats. So hip hoppers blended in with the rap music. And now you was a hip hopper. And this is in the 70s. And at the time, the graffiti used to represent hip hop. And the rap was like in the background. It wasn't the one that was out there representing us. Everybody tagging and doing different logos. That was the form of expression of representing hip hop at the time. And then when that went away, it kind of faded into the breakdancing era, where breakdancing became the representation of hip hop, because it was on the West Coast more than it was on the East Coast. And people thought just people on the East Coast breakdance, when it was guys on the West doing it 10 times better than what they were doing it. And they didn't really realize it at that point, but it was the popping, locking, and all that stuff was going on during that disco era when it was on the dance floor. They just didn't have a name for it. And then when they started saying hip hop, that's what it was. And then all of it became one big thing of hip hop. And hip it to the hop till you don't stop, you know. So when that record came out, when he said that on that record, it was over. It became hip hop was the name you keep and you roll with it for life. I knew that name wasn't going anywhere. It was hip hop. That's what it is. And so the music just was named, everything, the culture, everything was just summed up in one word: hip hop. So you just weren't a hip hopper no more. You're just hip hop. That's it. Hip it to the hop till you don't stop. To the bang bang boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to beat. Once you heard that line, it was over. Sugar Hill Gang killed it. And that record was everywhere. Everywhere. You could not escape it. And it set the tone for rap. And in the 80s, still breakdancing did its thing. But the emergence of rap was coming up. And that was the end. That was the end of breakdancing being the representation of that culture at that time. Went from graffiti to breakdancing to rap. Now, rap was the true expression, the lead expression of hip hop. And since then, that's where it's been. And I'm not gonna keep you long, but that's just where it is. And subscribe to the channel, Carcino for Life. Subscribe to the playlist, True Hip Hop Beefs, the Hip Hop Top 5s. We're gonna have some other stuff coming soon. And I'm out.